I'm afraid.
It's a hearsay rant. You must.
Yeah! Got it! Yes! Another shock! Yeah!
It happens every freaking time. Can we start the music? Can we go?
I'm surprised we're gonna have to discuss the fact that we're actually still on the air after last
we
week's
need
opening.
like a drink with this music.
A drink?
Yeah, it doesn't take you to like the beach, right?
I can see that a little bit.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Do I need to hit this camera?
As
No.
usual.
Oh, okay.
Off the rails. Happens every time. Welcome to the show this week. Welcome, guys. It's been a while since I've seen Walker. These other two goons.
I'm surprised that we're still on the air after last week's show.
Last week's show was great.
Last week's show was great.
But the opening,
Well,
Because of Caleb sticking his face in front of the camera? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, yeah, that too. That was a...
You, Bo, namely you. This what you're
It's
trying to do
always
now.
Bo. It is always Bo.
Do.
He's got this face.
And yet another example of Bo finding a sound he likes and just sticking to it.
That's right.
For days.
That's
Poor
right.
Bill Maine the other day.
Weeks.
Yeah.
Poor Bill Maine the other day. Had to. You got
That's for
film
you,
of that,
Bill.
didn't you? Seth, you got film of that with
That's
Bill
for
Maine.
you.
Yes, I didn't post that. I need to post that.
You need to post
Hey, I
it.
got a
need to
question
post
for
that.
everyone in the room
Si, senor.
and on the web.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody
Okay.
wants that 400-point NBA All-Star game? Anybody?
No.
Wait, is it
Anybody?
are they still playing?
Dear Jesus.
God.
They're not playing defense.
No.
That was part of my I'm tired.
It was.
That
Check
was.
it out. It's on the
man.
site.
They give out Defensive Player of the Year. They just need to get rid of that award. They just
So
need to get rid of it.
did anybody watch the dunk contest? Because I did not. I've heard bad things about it.
I did. Didn't
I heard
Spud
somebody
Webb,
got booed.
Didn't Spud Webb beat Michael Jordan? Wasn't that the dunk contest?
Sure, Jeff.
That was the last
heard-
good. That was the last
I heard
good
was it-
one. That was the last good
Was it
one.
Jaylen Brown that got booed for jumping over a 5'3" guy who was sitting down?
I believe so, yes.
5'3" sitting down.
I didn't watch it.
No, he was
because-
5'3" and standing up, but the dude was sitting down.
And why is that considered a new dunk or something?
He got booed.
Yeah, he
That's
should
what I'm
be.
saying.
As you should.
As he should be.
As you should get booed. I
That's
didn't watch
ridiculous.
it because it was on, not because it was on late, but I think it started like at 10:30.
The All-Star game?
Yeah,
No,
it was
the dunk contest.
The
Jeff,
dunk
get on the same
contest.
page,
It was
dude.
late.
Come
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Are we going to get flagged from the NBA like we got flagged for the NFL last week?
I don't know. Who knows?
That was weird.
Oh, we actually got flagged?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got
yeah,
flagged.
Well,
got
it
flagged.
wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't let us put the video on the
We could
website.
embed.
Is this over Shaq
This
right
is
here?
over Shaq.
Yeah, this is over Shaq.
But Shaq is bending his head down. So
I mean,
Shaq is 7'1".
I know,
what
but
about
Jaylen Brown, I think it was, jumped over a dude who was 5'3" when he was standing up. He was sitting in a chair.
okay, find that one, Seth.
It looks like everybody's doing kind of the same dunk, like
yeah,
jumping over.
That's
people.
because after
The
30,
dunk contest isn't a dunk. It's just a popularity contest.
it's 40 after 40 years, there's absolutely nothing new you can do.
I gotta say the absolute best one was Michael Jordan from the foul line.
Oh yeah, well of course. Although
The only thing that they could do better is for the dunk contest, throw that thing up to 12 feet.
Look, here's another one.
ooh,
Look. Oh, here's your chair. Yeah, boy, that's awesome.
what?
that's and he
Are we-
dabbed. Wait, he dabbed
dude.
afterwards.
Let's-
Seriously?
a chair?
Let's go down my path here for a second.
Oh
what
my
if we
come on.
What if we lifted the goal to 12 feet for the slam dunk contest?
They couldn't hit it. They can't jump that high.
What?
That's another 2 feet.
What?
I don't know. I don't think anybody could hit
A
that.
chair? A dude in a chair. That
Yeah.
guy, the guy at the beginning of the video jumped over Shaq.
Yeah,
So the dunk contest has been for I don't know how many years.
40 years.
So it's got to be hard to come up with something
There
kind
is
of
nothing new.
brand new.
Raise
There
the
is
goal.
nothing.
If you,
So
Like, I mean, it'd have been
along-
funny if, like, he jumped and kicked the dude in the head, knocked him out, and then dunked, like, But
Sure.
if
He's in
you
a
raise the
chair.
goal
I
as part of
volunteer
your,
like
LeBron.
your
I
idea.
volunteer LeBron to be under the goal for that.
I'm
one.
going with Walker on this one. Raise the goal.
If somebody dunks it at 12 feet while everyone else is just joking around at 10 feet.
Here's
Here we
another
go.
one. Up. So I think you should get no points if you touch the people you're jumping over.
I don't know.
For
No,
sure.
I do. No points.
I agree. The guy
None.
put his hand on the back of Shaq
'Cause
like an extra boost.
Obviously, if you're jumping over somebody, you're trying to be impressive, right?
Right. Yeah.
He almost made it.
Look, you have to jump
He had to
over
grab.
Shaq.
Wait, watch this. Did he touch him? He grabbed the ball.
I mean, with his legs.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's namely because he brought his legs
counts.
in.
That
Did he
counts.
win it?
That counts.
He won it, I think.
He won it.
That counts. Right
Okay.
there. That counts. I'll count. But Shaq is 7-1. The impressive thing is if Shaq
like
is
he
standing
had-
straight up and not.
Looks like he
bending
had
his
another
head.
one.
Right, here's Shaq. Is that
Look.
Shaq?
Yeah.
Oh, he cleared Shaq.
Oh, that's not Shaq.
That's not.
No.
No, McLeod.
But the thing is, that's a tall guy with his head bent. If his head's straight up, he's 7-1. Then
That's
you're talking.
that's good
now
right
you're
there.
talking something.
That's good right there. So I hope he did win it. Did
I
he
think
win
he
it?
did.
Like, see, I didn't pay attention to it.
Who
Other
was
than the
that?
fact that I heard
Who
it
was that?
I
guy?
paid attention to
very-
the 3-point contest.
I did too. The 3-point contest was interesting. Kenny Smith, I think, stuck his foot in his mouth. By the way.
Oh,
you
did
see
what
Yeah.
did he say? What did he say this time? What did he say this time?
He said that. What was the girl's name that went up against
Sabrina Ionescu.
Sabrina said she should have shot from the women's 3-point line, and I'm like, dude, she didn't need to. I mean, come on. She scored like what, 28?
She beat the guy who won the 3-point contest.
Right. So
I mean, if she's hitting from well beyond the NBA, why do you need to shoot from the?
no, she was
women's
hitting
three?
from the NBA.
That's what I'm saying. Why do you need to scoot in?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Jeff.
that's just a stupid
That's what I'm
statement.
saying. Like,
But
I
who-
think it came out wrong on his end.
Kenny
Can
Smith.
you wait until
He's-
next year when you have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson versus Ionescu and Caitlin Clark?
Is Caitlin Clark?
That'll be a fun 3-point
is,
contest.
is Caitlin Clark going to come out of the?
She's a senior.
Yeah, she's got another
Yeah.
year. She's got a 5th year though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be the number one draft pick.
Yeah.
Why? She'd probably make more.
Oof. Ooh.
She probably would. You're right.
That's
A good point. NIL.
Yeah, NIL.
Even still, they should set it up to where it's Steph and Clay versus Ionescu and Caitlin Clark. Like that.
So
that's a
talking about-
no-brainer.
we talking about
even if she's not in the WNBA. Just go ahead and
No,
set
I
it up.
agree. I agree. Might as well give her an NIL deal to go shoot.
You know, Caitlin Clark also made my "I'm tired," but in a good
There's
way.
2 shameless plugs for this. I'm tired, Jeff. You got to stop
Wow.
because
I'm
sorry.
I am tired of the plugs.
Oh,
there it is.
oh,
There
I
it is.
see what you
There it
did
is.
there.
There it is.
I see
Yes,
what you
yes,
did there.
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Yes,
Hey, that's a third shameless plug. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else want to get in on
No,
this?
Jeff.
While we're on the topic of basketball,
Basketball.
Yeah.
did anybody see this
Basketball
new
season.
basketball that Wilson's come out with?
We're about to hit it up on the old.
Yeah,
TV
what is
screen.
this thing?
Here we go.
You said it's an airless ball. How's that possible?
It's an
we
airless
go.
basketball. They've only made 200 of them. It's a 3D printed basketball.
So it looks like
There's
a wiffle
no
ball.
air in it.
It looks like a wiffle ball.
It does. I just want to know how it works.
Can you do trick shots with it? Is it going to loop through the air and all that?
Here's my question. Like, I've done some 3D printing stuff, making things. It's super easy to break, right? It's not great made material. How does this thing bounce?
I imagine it's made out of not the traditional 3D printed material.
Next time
that
you
use.
3D print, can you
'Cause
make me
can
some
3D
$100
print
bills?
with lots of different materials.
Make me some $100 bills the next time you do some 3D printing.
Yeah, you'll get arrested the second you try and use them.
Well, I won't. You made them.
That comic kind of looked
I'll
bad,
put
Jeff.
Jeff Hart made them on the back.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
You could sign up to get this airless Gen 1 basketball.
It's a super expensive basketball. There's only 200 of them
How
that
much?
they made.
How much is expensive?
I forget what I saw yesterday
I'm
on
trying
social
to
media. I
sign
think it
up
was like
for it.
$300.
Rather than being inflated, the airless Gen 1 basketball relies on a 3D printed polymer lattice structure to replicate the bounce, flight, and feel of a traditional basketball. The
Okay.
form of the ball features 8 panel-like lobes and a familiar seam structure.
So I got to say, guys, there are tires out there.
Interesting.
You see them a lot on mowers.
Okay.
They are called airless tires, and
Hey,
they look a bit like that.
I'm shocked by that.
If you
by the
look
way.
them up, they have a webbing in between. You see the webbing
I
there,
do.
Jeff. They
I
have
do
a
see
web kind of in between the tread, And
Do they work? Do they work?
Well, I see people using them. I've
Wilson
also heard
introduced
bad
an
things
airless
about 'em.
basketball that retails for $2,500.
$2,500.
They only made 200 of them.
$2,500.
Who would pay that?
Me,
But
we're gonna
200
buy
people
one.
did.
I'm just kidding.
You would pay
200 people
$2,500.
did.
No, I wouldn't pay that.
There are idiots everywhere.
I mean, the 3D printed basketball probably cost them what? $10?
I don't know. I mean, if
No,
that's some
it
sort of
costs more than
special
that.
polymer.
It costs more than that.
It's got to
for sure.
cost way more than that.
So polymer lattice structure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it'll catch
I'd say it
on.
probably
So-
cost them.
So
It probably
must-
cost them around $500-$600 to 3D print.
Look,
something like
I
that.
got to tell you, man, that's a great idea because how many times have you, as a kid or me as a dad, gone out to play basketball? Our kids play basketball. Dad, where's the air pump? You know,
There's nothing more disheartening than when you get your basketball and you bounce it thinking there's air and it goes.
Does the
It
off the rails
stops.
budget have enough to be able to get one?
we could be sponsored by yeah.
Well,
Sure.
Seth, get on that Wilson sponsorship.
Seth is pulling up some
Okay.
photos, a closer photo of this basketball. If you're interested in purchasing it, $2,500. It's the brand new Wilson airless basketball. Wilson, no Ken.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, that's not me.
While we're on basketball,
Basketball is magical.
I know you kind of wanted to talk about. I went on a little rant in my I'm tired.
It's not time for the rant section, Jeff.
don't think so?
Who's leading this show here? Me
I
or
know,
you?
but we're in basketball. It just seems like such an appropriate time.
Basketball.
Who taught him that?
Where's our basketball's magical at this point?
And you
It
know,
is magic.
basketball is magical.
There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is.
It's a great
You know.
sounder.
That's the
And you
greatest.
know,
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
basketball is magical.
Yes, basketball is still in season, by the way. If anybody
Oh, yeah?
never
recognizes that as,
never
as
ends.
we've moved into the state tournament, right?
Yes, sir.
Almost.
And,
Almost.
And how many teams do we have?
24.
And how many teams do you expect to advance into the second round?
6, 7.
You're
10.
going 10.
10.
It is hot in here. I'm already sweating.
10. I'm going to go 10.
You're going 10.
That's right. And 2 of those get a first round bye into the second round.
Who
I'm
are
not
the,
counting
Who are the
those.
2 with a bye?
Lakeview.
Oh, that's right. Forget about
Yeah, I'm not
Lakeview.
counting those.
Yeah.
I'm counting those. That's part of my 10. So really,
So
only eight.
if I'm counting them, I've got 8 or 9.
That's about what I got, not counting Lakeview. Lakeview, they're in. So I'm counting them. They're in the second round. You have to count them. They're in.
All right,
Eyes
so
don't
how many
count.
teams do we have in the tournament that you expect will go past the second round?
About 5 to 6.
5 to 6. Who
I
are
was
they?
going to say, yeah.
Well, I say
about
both
4 or
Lakeview.
5.
I think both Lakeview teams again
Right,
get in.
right.
I like the Banks
Buford.
County girls. Raven girls are playing really well right now. I think Buford now. The Buford girls.
I think they have a good path.
They have a good path, but you know,
Yeah.
7A. 6A they
It's
couldn't
tough.
get past the
It's
Elite
tough.
8. 7A they couldn't get past the second round. I mean, it's tough up there in that in that high rent district. So,
But Buford
I do-
girls are
I-
they're playing a different kind of basketball right now.
they're playing well. Well, they were playing really well last year, and they just ran it. I mean, look, Grayson is out there, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's going to be the trick. I about maybe 5 to 6. Most of them are the girls' teams. On the boys' side, other than Lakeview, it's kind of slim picking.
Buford boys, they have a rough
Now the
path.
Town County
Yeah.
boys,
Yeah.
the Towns County
It's tough.
boys, we can talk about. Look, that's a team that won their region, got hosed in the region tournament, finished 4th. They're going to be on the road the whole time, but when they won the state title, they played 2 huge road games down in South Georgia to get there. So they know how to do it. I like that team, but it's going to depend on who they match up with.
And that right there, Jeff, is a great segue in today's rant segment of the show. This is where we're opening up anybody on the floor that wants to rant. And I have one.
I know you do.
You go first. Go for it, Bill.
I have one. I have a rant because
Okay.
Jeff, you segued that perfectly.
Well, that's
talking
because I
about
am a professional.
that-
Do we have a cricket sounder?
What happened? What?
We do somewhere, but
I don't
I don't think we
understand. What
loaded that
happened?
one up.
You're spewing lies again, Jeff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Basketball is magical. I'm just kidding, by the way. Yeah, so my rant kind of goes back to one that we had a discussion on a few shows back about region tournaments. I think that was us, right?
I think so.
That we
It
discussed
was
region
us.
tournaments.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and my dislike for the region tournaments.
You're dipping into the well twice.
And now I have a case in point.
Okay.
Or I have a point that will back up my case.
Gotcha.
Does that sound
Sure.
good to you?
Sure. Yeah.
Towns County boys lose one game in the region, go
all year.
as the number 1 seed into the region tournament. Okay? They travel all the way down to Warren County, and I understand everybody had to. Just Towns County had the longest ride down there.
I think they had to
They
fly.
get in this region tournament. They get some horrible reffing that fouls out their 5 starters. Like,
All
how
5.
does that happen, guys? And they finish 4th in the region tournament. They go from number 1 regular season champ to 4th because they had to play an extra 2 games in a region tournament, and now here they are, a 4 seed in the state tournament. I think that is the exact reason why that I am not a fan of region tournaments.
So I know a lot of these regions use it as a moneymaker for all the teams. So what would you do? What
Is it?
I don't know. That's what
What
they
you
say.
got, Walker?
That's what they say.
Here's the best way to do it. Okay,
Come
and
on.
I'm going to take this
Come on.
from the Appalachian Athletic Conference NAIA College Conference, right?
Okay.
The regular season champion gets either the number 1 or the number 2 seed.
Period.
Period. The
Right.
end. Done.
I like it.
You could still play the region tournament
You could.
to determine the other 3 teams that get in. Just knowing that Towns County would already be in and they would get to host a first round game. Now, if they end up as finishing 4th, that way they still have to play. You can't just trot out and, throw out all your JV players and slide your way to number 1. If you lose your semifinal game, you're the number 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Either way. That's the best way to do it.
No, I like that. I like that idea.
I could see. Why not just put them in the finals?
But it-
Why
it-
not
it
just
comes
put them
down
in
to
the
the
finals?
region.
Just put them in the
crazy
finals.
thing is like this isn't a GHSA thing. It's a region by
It's a
region
region
thing.
by region.
Right.
The region can decide who they want to put in.
Well,
And
see,
how
this
they
is
wanna put 'em
another.
in, you
This,
know what I mean?
So let-
here's another deal with that. So you play. Let's take Region 8 4A guys, for
Okay.
example, since we're kind of on this right now. Region 8 4A, 11-team tournament. It's subdivided. It went a span of 8 days. Okay.
8 days.
So in
8.
in like 4 or 5 different locations because of where they played 2 and 3 and seeds and all that kind of stuff. So that region obviously is a large region. Thank God it's going away, by the way, next season. Yes, round of applause, salute that. But let's thank you. So you take that region because it's so large, and a lot of like 7-3A even went over a week span to do
Yes.
their region tournament.
And
It
I
was
don't
long.
understand. There's
Long.
only 16.
And it ended up the same way that it finished the regular season.
Right.
I mean, you look at the way some of that stuff in 7-3A, 8-4A, I don't think it kind
Well,
of did. But
we can get to
but yeah.
7-3A in a minute and
Yeah.
what happened there.
Right. But anyway, what I'm saying is when you have region tournaments that are that long, like, is it that good for you when
No.
it comes to the state tournament?
I don't know.
It just, to me, let's eliminate that and let's back the state tournaments up. Let's start a week early on state tournaments and let's go play. Let's get to the real thing that matters here. The real thing that matters here is the state championship.
Right. Particularly if you
I
play.
still-
Go ahead, Walker.
I'm
sorry.
going to push back just a little bit on you, Bo,
Push.
because I think that region championship can still be played to give those teams that are further down a chance to play for the state in the state tournament.
All right, but look, if you play.
But there's a way to do it to where the regular season matters.
All right, so 7-3A, you said you wanted to discuss that a little bit. They have 7 teams. You're playing
Yes.
everybody twice. That's 12 games. You go through a regular season, you have 0, 1, or 2 losses. Literally, why do you need to play? I mean, you've proven yourself. If you're the bottom team and you've gone 1-11, but you get a shot at an upset,
You've been terrible all year.
You've been terrible all year. Why do you deserve a shot?
I'm not saying
Why
everybody
do you deserve
needs
a
to
shot?
get in.
Well, but
I'm not saying everybody needs to
then
get
if
in.
not everybody gets in, don't play a region tournament. I agree with you on this, Bo. I just think
it comes down to the same thing though. Like the ACC, they don't have everybody get into the basketball tournament. The
not
SEC 's
anymore,
not
not
going to
anymore,
next year.
but they did, and the SEC baseball does the same thing.
So you've got
For
example,
what's the difference
here,
between the SEC baseball and 7-3A?
Here's the difference.
I don't see
here's the difference in my opinion. Now, if I don't know if we're taking baseball to basketball, I don't want to like compare that.
I'll even go to basketball next year because
compare,
now that
let's compare that. Let's compare it right now with the SEC tournament. SEC teams don't play each other twice.
That's
in the
right.
tournament.
They don't play everybody.
They
don't play
some
everybody
twice, right? They play some twice,
and some none.
So in that instance, to me, I would agree with the tournament.
Yes,
I would agree with it. So if you're playing region games and you're playing everybody once, I would agree with that. But if you're going to play everybody twice during the season, 8-4A, that we'll go back to that because I only played the South Side once in the tournament or in the regular season. So yeah, maybe they did need the tournament. But when you play everybody twice, and again, your top two teams are at least your top team. If you take 7-3A and Wesleyan and the girls' side, we knew what that was going to happen there. That was going to be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're not playing everybody twice, then fine. You know, baseball in high school used to do, softball used to do it. Baseball, I think in high school used to do a region tournament at the end. And why? They don't do that.
I don't understand. Other than 8-4A and that
football
goofy,
does not do a region
Right.
tournament. They take the top four and they move on.
Look, and I want to transition into my rant off of that because with the region tournaments, so again, we're going to use Towns County, not picking on them. I think I'm just kind of miffed about that whole thing. There's a team that they won a state title not a couple 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. They stormed through a really tough region and lost one game. So they have to go down to Warren County, which is in middle Georgia. Walker, Bo, Seth, we've all seen this. How many times do we complain that when our teams in the Northeast Georgia area go to any place other than that area, Athens, Atlanta, Macon, wherever Warren County is, Columbus, the officiating, and I think the guys in the Northeast Georgia area in all sports, I really watch games. They are fair. It doesn't matter who's playing. It doesn't matter where they're from. They are fair. They do not take preferential treatment to their teams in the area. But every single time, and I'm going to throw that out there, virtually every single time one of our teams goes down into any of those areas, they get hosed. The refs are, without a doubt, look like they're pulling for the team in their area. When you have any team that goes anywhere and has all five of their starters foul out on the other team's home court, there's an issue there.
That's suspicious to me. That sounds really suspicious to me.
Look, we saw that a little bit at North Oconee in that Cherokee Bluff game. The girls lost that game. North Oconee was bludgeoning. Seriously, it was almost
that bad.
It was assault on the floor. The refs were from the Athens area, and they were not. Caitlin Cook. And the other, my brain is missing which exactly. May have been Wilson. No, that was the game she was fighting. Hallie Kirsch. Hallie Wilson.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay. I think both of them had 2 or 3 fouls. Caitlin Cook had 3 fouls like in the first 3 or 4 minutes.
We got a lot of teams, a lot of names. Cut it slack.
But the thing is they were calling picky little fouls on Cherokee Bluff, and the girls underneath for North Oconee were literally knocking girls down to the floor. No foul.
And then
and it was obvious to me sitting here watching games who likes to see impartiality. It was clearly obvious that they were not going to call fouls.
Clearly.
North Oconee was on their home floor. People were thinking we're going to have a Cherokee Bluff Chastity girls final.
I called it last week's
show. You did.
And
it looked like they did everything they could to not let that happen. Mm-hmm. They wanted North Oconee on their home floor in the finals. And I'm just saying it right now. I send me emails. I don't care. I know what I see.
JacobsMedia.net.
Thank you. I know what I saw. I'm not an idiot.
No,
and I have been watching
don't
sports
disagree
for
with
50
you.
years. I can tell when it doesn't look right. That did not look right. What happened to Towns County boys definitely wasn't right.
yeah, that's so sus.
And that needs to be addressed because
I use that word.
The officiating in the various areas is not the same. I think you said something about they call it like a college game and you just let them beat each other up, except they seem to pick a side, and that's just not right. That's how I see it.
I'm tired.
Is it my turn to rant now?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, maybe
I'm going completely different than basketball.
Okay.
Can we talk about the Daytona 500 and NASCAR racing in general?
Sure.
Why can a race end under a yellow flag?
Why can't it?
Yes.
Or
why
why
can't
can
it?
it?
Why can? CAN.
Because they freeze the field if it's so.
That's not so William Byron, I think that's his name, that won the Daytona 500, right?
Mm-hmm. Who was in the lead?
He gets to win the race because he finished the next to last lap.
Well, they-
Because
in the lead.
They ran the last lap under
because
caution.
he took the white flag had dropped and then the caution came out.
After.
And that's why. And
But
as the
nobody can
caution-
pass him.
Right. As the caution fell, William Byron was leading by a nose.
That's what I'm
Maybe
saying.
even
Nobody.
nose hair.
As soon as the yellow flag drops, the field's frozen and nobody can pass him. So he just gets a free lap,
That's right.
and it just so happens to be the last lap.
Okay,
Right.
So he wins
NASCAR.
the Daytona 500.
Now, NASCAR
Yes.
did
That's
it.
dumb.
Yeah.
Correct me, Bo.
I agree.
Correct me. NASCAR addressed that many years ago, where they would go to if they weren't going to let a race.
You used to drive to the checker flag.
right, but
back in the day.
they didn't want
Like
people
why?
killing
Why
each other.
didn't they go to overtime?
Of course, now last
Like,
night
I don't know a lot about
because they'd already
NASCAR.
taken the white flag. So if you take the white flag and the caution comes out, you can't go to overtime. That's a NASCAR rule.
And that's where my rant lies.
I agree
why is
with
that
you.
the case?
Like I think that it doesn't matter if you take the white flag. The race is not over. Do a restart. Let's
500
do it again.
500 laps is 500 laps. They should race
It
NASCAR
wasn't
the way they
500
do.
miles,
They should
500
race
miles. Let's go back.
Look,
500 miles.
Yeah, whatever.
Each lap is
200
2.5
laps.
miles.
Whatever.
200 laps.
whatever. They should race the way they race in the pod racing in Star Wars Episode 1, where there's the number of laps.
Now
it doesn't
this
matter
is
if,
pod racing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if people crash and die. That's it. The race is, that we're going to race it, and that's it. And I think you should be able to wreck people. So there you go.
Can we mute him?
Yep, I can do that. Done.
Thank you.
What I just don't.
Stay
I
out of
really
this is
don't.
my
I don't know
space.
hardly anything about NASCAR. Don't get me wrong, but the Daytona 500 is the race that everybody turns on.
Right.
Why it wasn't in prime time? We talked about this, Bo, on the phone. Who knows? That race should have been done in prime time.
Yeah. I
If they
agree.
were going to push it to Monday, do it in prime time.
I agree. And
But the fact that we raced 199 laps,
Mhm.
or actually less than that, because the stage is you lose laps because of you go under caution at the end of a
Technically,
stage.
yes,
which,
199 technically. Yeah.
yeah, you raced 199 of 200 laps. Is there an asterisk we can put by William Byron's name?
It just says under caution.
It's
Yeah.
the dumbest rule on
No,
the face
I
of the earth.
agree.
And I know
I-
nothing
look,
about NASCAR.
Listen, I agree 100% with you. I think NASCAR should finish under green.
But didn't
Period.
The thing
So
is,
Green,
if you-
white checker
So
every
if
single
you're gonna
time.
have overtime, so for example, the lap before, if the caution would have fell, NASCAR would have
If the caution would have fell
it would have been
2
a green,
seconds
yes,
earlier.
it would have been a green white checker. So I agree. Like even if you're in under the white flag, you've taken the white flag and there's a caution. The
Now-
race is not over. Let's restart the field. Let's do it again till we get a winner. It's just like overtime in football, basketball. We play till we get a winner till the clock says 0, right?
but I got a
If
question.
the wreck
Didn't-
happens on the second half of the track, sorry to interrupt you, Jeff, I'm fine with it ending.
Let them race to
Look,
let
didn't
them
they-
race
Yeah.
though to the checkered flag.
but they did.
Yeah, you're
Don't
still
freeze the
racing at
field.
that point. You don't freeze
because
until you cross.
if the wreck happens behind you, like it did in the Xfinity race last night, they let them race to the end. It was on the last lap. They let them race to the end.
ahead,
Granted, it wasn't on it was on the last lap. So
Look, didn't they address it? Didn't they address this?
they address the crap. It's just we're afraid of injury.
No, that's not what I was going to say. You talk about the overtime. Let's go to overtime. Didn't they? If anything happened within the last lap or two, they would go to the 5-lap green, and they tried to do that,
Jeff,
and it just
no.
seemed like races lasted
Jeff.
forever.
No, Jeff.
Are you sure?
It was a green, white checker finish.
And I remember watching a couple of races where they had like 5 or
I don't
6
know when
restarts.
I don't know when they implemented that. Well, who cares?
Well, it took forever to run one lap where it's supposed to be 200 laps. They end up running 210 laps.
Who cares?
Well, that's not 200 laps. The race is 200 laps. The rule says
A football
So do
game
that.
lasts 4 quarters. If they're not done, they go more than 4 quarters.
and then that's it. But you know the rule there. I'm
No,
just
that's
saying,
not it.
I agree with you, but that's what the rule is. So that's what it is.
What?
That's where my rant lies.
I
Is the
agree
rule
with
is
you.
wrong.
I agree with you.
I don't have a problem with
The
the racing.
overtime rule in NASCAR is green, white, checker.
They've ended so many Indy 500s under caution.
If you take the white flag and the caution comes out, the field is frozen.
Look, they've ended so many Indy 500s on the caution. I mean, I'm not sure.
I'm not
sure,
saying that.
I don't know
not
why
saying
it's an
that
issue
rule's
now.
right either.
I'm saying you should race to the end, personally.
Yeah, I
Like-
think they should
My
have just let
opinion
that
is
last
if-
lap go and race.
And I don't know
If
when they
the-
put that
if
in.
the
I'd have
wreck-
to look back.
If the wreck does not affect your ability to finish the race,
Do it.
race it.
I agree.
Like
That
I-
wreck happened at the line,
yeah,
right?
yes, and
So that's why the race should have been restarted. Overtime rules, green, white,
No, I
checker. If
agree.
the wreck happens on the other side
I
of turn
agree.
2, I don't
fine,
care.
but let them race.
Yes.
If it happens in turn 3 on the final lap, let it race.
Don't pull out the yellow.
But
Right.
I will say before they did the green, white checker, they did end like Indy. Caution happened.
Right.
You just ran the laps because you had the caution laps and you would end under.
Right.
So it is somewhat more exciting, but I agree with Walker on that rant.
Okay. Seth, you got one?
I do.
Whoa.
You got one
Yeah.
that lasts about 2 minutes?
I can make it very, very quick. I
Okay.
can. When is network television going to give up the friggin' ghost? When is it going to happen? And when am I going to get like reliable, continuous, simply sports streaming? Like that's not from 15 different friggin' entities that I have to buy each individual streaming platform. When is it going to happen? Why don't platforms like YouTube or Amazon Prime have them as single pay a la carte events?
Now, if you
they
were,
have
I
access to
don't think
broadcasting
people
the
would pay
event.
for them.
yeah, I don't think they. I kind of agree with you, but I will say that if you are looking for the Braves, like if you're a big Braves fan, the $20 a month fee that Bally charges, and you don't have network television or you do not have a television service, a TV service that you pay for per month, that would, and you just want to watch the Braves, I mean, that's a pretty decent deal. I
Now,
mean,
can
20
you
bucks-
jump in anytime you want on
I
that, or
think
do you
so,
have to
yeah.
commit to the whole
Nah,
season?
it's just a Bally app,
So-
and you go pay $20 a month for
So
it.
for the playoffs,
Or
you
25,
could,
whatever
you could
it is
jump
then.
in on the playoffs, or say
Well,
the
the
last
playoffs
month
are gonna
Playoffs
be
are
on
not on
Fox
Bally. They'll be on
TVS.
Fox. So
Okay.
Bottom line, the end of my rant, network television needs to get their crap together.
it's
Bottom
never going to
line.
happen.
I know it's not going to
and
happen.
here's why it's not going to happen. Because if TV providers like cable, satellite, if they would offer you the a la carte, like you can go build your package,
They'd never make as much money.
they would never make as much money, and
They
they
never
couldn't
would.
afford to
Offer it to you.
offer it to you for one, but then they couldn't afford all those 70,000 other channels you get that you never watch
That's correct.
to be on their platform. So
Like I said, I've been out of the network TV game for a very long time as far as like television providers. Are there like packages out there that are like, hey, this is a sports package. You get all the sports
Yes.
stuff you want. Really?
Yes, there are.
Yeah, but you still have to get the base
But you have to
package
get
of
the base
everything, and then the
package.
sports is
So
on top
so it's
of
not
it.
that's not an a la carte
So-
package thing.
No.
You have to buy a base package
No.
and then tack
Yeah.
that on top
and
of
then,
it.
and here's the way it works. So say you wanted to get the $59.99 package.
Lame.
Well, they take specific channels that you probably watch, and they put it in the $89.99
That's correct.
package. So then you're up to $89.99. Well, then they take a couple more channels that say you watch on a religious basis, and you're all of a sudden you're up to the
99.
99 or 109.
Not only that, and if you don't want commercials,
what
they're
you're
going to
doing.
charge
and then
you another $10.
you want all this sports package too. Throw that on top.
That exactly. So
and,
that's the
and
whole
don't
thing.
forget about the cable box rental that you would have
That's
to do. Or yeah, DVR space rental that you would have to do.
And then if you get satellite,
Look, I
if
pay
you get
for it.
satellite and
I
it
do
rains
it.
hard enough,
Here's the funny thing.
Yeah, you're
People-
not watching.
30 years ago, people were complaining about their $25 cable bill, where you got, your $25 and you got everything, and people were complaining that's too high. But now people are willing to pay $100.
I don't
So
think we're
that-
willing.
that-
I think we're forced.
It's not that. Well, look, you were forced back
My
in the day.
my cable and internet are packaged together, so
Right.
there it is.
Yeah.
So
Whew, I'm tired
That-
after all.
that-
Also,
I'm
Xfinity.
tired.
Also, Xfinity won't service my new house when I get moved in there, and so I'm mad about that.
4 times.
Yeah.
Hey,
little
by the
salty
way,
now.
guys.
Don't we
By the way, next week we need to really dive in. I'm going to send you the video, Walker. You may have seen this, and of the new power ranking system the Georgia High School Association is going to implement. Have you seen this? Have you seen the video?
You've referenced it. I've briefly looked at it. I
video.
haven't dove into it.
Okay.
Oh boy! They did the whole thing.
Bring a wetsuit. Apparently, we're
the
diving.
whole-
I've got my whiteboard right here. We can have a little whiteboard session.
Oh.
Based on the 2023 football season in Class 3A, Dawson Lumpkin would have played in the first round. And what's ironic about that?
Same region.
And
Dawson didn't make the playoffs.
who didn't make the playoffs?
Dawson.
There you have it. Wow. It's going to bring some drama. It's also going to bring some road trips for some people in the first round, which normally doesn't happen.
Not long.
Not long
huge
road
long
trips. But
So I'll have the whiteboard ready next week.
I'm going to send you this video. Everybody's going to get the video. You're going to be confused. Because the presentation was not a whiteboard session. Like, that's what I was wanting. I'm like, I want GHSA to be in a classroom on a whiteboard
We'll do
showing
it.
us exactly how
We
you're
will
coming
do
up.
that.
Because you're taking winning percentage, opponents' winning percentage, opponents' winning percentage, and then you're finding the power ranking.
You're also taking home games
Of
versus
course.
away games and multipliers.
Yes.
and-
So that's what I want.
Does booster club money also factor in?
Transfers, I don't know. Recruiting classes, I have no clue. I have no idea what it
whiteboard
factors in.
session next week's what I'm hearing.
Definitely going to need to take a look at that because
Am I going to need to bring my engineering calculator?
oh god,
That's not going to work.
not going to work. So yeah,
It's
this
made
is-
for that.
Listen, this is going to create some drama in high school football. There's no doubt. I think my first reaction to it is it's going to make it really fun in the first round of the playoffs.
I think it's going to make it fun overall.
Does this
because
mean
you're
we're going to
gonna
start
get-
dissecting
you're-
high school football schedules soon?
We'll need to. We'll need
Possible.
to. By the way, Gainesville got 7 road games since you just mentioned that. 7 road games.
Lumpkin County's schedule's fun. White County's schedule's fun. I can't wait to start diving in.
Yeah, it's fun. And before we go today, guys, did you know that Spencer Strider now has a curveball? Apparently, he has a curveball.
World Series champs.
Just what I heard.
If you go back to when the Dodgers landed Shohei and whoever the other Japanese guy is,
Yeah.
go back on my X, Twitter profile, whatever it is. Braves win the next 5 National League pennants.
How about you? Hey, and
I
by the
already
way,
called it.
Just
listen,
jinx the heck out
listen,
of them, man.
I called
some
it
people
back in October.
Some people have said the curveball is nasty. Nasty.
Does that mean he's going to be
Matt Olson said
unhittable?
that
He's
for
almost
sure.
unhittable as it
I
is.
don't know. Look, guys, I don't know.
Matt Olson said
Everybody
it.
reported what, Tuesday?
I guess.
Yeah. Bye.
We're almost
Bye.
there.
All right, guys, we got to get out of here because we got, high school basketball state tournament. Rest of the week. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Let's get to making. Making.
We get paid by the hour. Well, you don't. But
That's a
the rest
wrap.
of us do.
We'll see you next week, everyone. So long. Farewell. Goodbye.